Hey guys, how you doing? It's Robert Ott with Raintown Real Estate, and I'm here with my good buddy Jason Gray from New American Funding.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good. Class time.
Class time.
Here we go.
Hey, rookies out there. It's another class. Today we're going to talk about what happens when we have a new client and we need to introduce them to a lender. So, Jason, let's talk about that right now.
Let's talk about it. Okay, so the key for me is just like that first introduction is really important. And what I mean by that is how you set up that intro call to me. And it's usually like this: Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm going to introduce you to Jason Gray. He's going to give you a call, and then you're going to give me their telephone number. Don't rely upon them to call me.
Why is that?
Because they don't call.
They don't call.
They don't call.
Why is that?
I have no idea. Fear of just talking to me, I think
Yeah.
it is. It's just the fear of the unknown.
Well, I like to say that that in a transaction, I'm fun, and he's not fun.
I'm super fun.
I know, but the deal is that
don't
shopping
understand that.
for a house is fun, but talking to people about finances isn't fun. And so sometimes your new client is going to be a little nervous to do that. That's what it comes down to. They're going to be a little nervous about making that happen. So that's why we have to make that introduction and leave it up to you
To make that call.
Exactly.
And at the end of the call, I want them so excited that they pick up the phone and they give Rob a call and say, get me in a car. Let's go buy a house.
Let's roll. Let's make it happen.
So many times do I talk to a client and they get off the call with me and they say, wow, you made that super easy. First of all, they made it easy, or they've spoken with another loan officer and they said that other loan officer made it so complicated and you taught me so much in 10 or 15 minutes than I learned from talking to this other person for 2 hours. And I think they're trying to make themselves feel smart. So it's a simple process. So why don't you pretend you're the client? I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions.
You're going to role play?
We're going to role play.
I like to role play.
Let's just spitball.
So I'm Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
You're Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You're
Jones?
Mr. Smith.
Did you call me Jones or Smith?
Smith.
I was okay. It's all good. All
Okay.
right.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Mr. Smith?
As is Mr. Smith, yeah.
Jason Gray, New American Funding. How are you doing?
I'm great. How you doing? I have to tell you, I'm a little bit nervous about talking to you, but I'm ready to talk.
Sounds good. Robert Ott gave me your number. So give me a little bit of details about what you guys are looking for. But what I like to do today is I want to walk you through like the buying process, talk to you about your qualifications. Do you mind if I ask you a couple quick questions?
Feel free. I'm all ears. Let's
Excellent.
do it.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I appreciate it. All right. Hey, how much
Mr.
money
Jones. It's
No,
Mr.
Mr.
Jones.
Mr. Smith. Mr.
I don't
Jones.
know.
Whatever. All right. Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
I don't like Jones. For some reason, I like Mr. Smith.
That's good.
How much you make per year?
I make $100,000 a year.
Dude, that's great. Good job. So I want to, every time I'm hearing from them, I want to sort of repeat what they're saying, just so I know what they're doing. What do you do for a living, Mr. Smith?
I work at I don't know. I look at Barnes and Noble.
You work at Barnes and Noble, and make $100,000 a year. That's a great job. Are you a manager?
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact,
Do you get bonuses or commissions or anything like that?
I get a yearly bonus.
Okay, great. How long have you been working for Barnes and Noble?
7 years.
7 years. The reason why I asked this question is a couple things. If they've been with that company for 2 years and they're getting some type of commissions or bonuses or overtime, I want to know that because I need to average that out over 2 years. And if I don't ask that question right now, it's going to get me in trouble later on. Because maybe they only make $80,000 a year and this is a brand new job for them and they're getting $20,000 in bonuses or overtime or whatever it might be, and I can really only qualify them on the $80,000. I need to sort of dive into it and try to figure out what that really looks like.
You know what sucks, Jason?
What?
When you find that out a week before closing.
Exactly. We don't want that to happen
No,
at all.
No, then you
At
find out you don't close and everyone's mad. And you know who they're mad at? They're mad at you. They're mad at you, the agent, because it's your fault.
Exactly. 100%.
Right? Because that's where they look at it.
Yeah, we're the ones to blame. We're the professionals, so
Yeah.
we got to do it right. So, Mr. Smith, are you
Yes.
buying this house by yourself or with anyone else?
I'm going to buy it with my wife, as a matter of fact.
Perfect. Is she employed?
No.
She's not. Okay, great.
It's easy on you.
Yeah, let's make it easy. Okay, so sounds great. So, what are you thinking about? What's ideal for you for a down payment? What are you sort of thinking about on the down
I have
payment?
10% down payment. I'm looking at, I don't know, $75,000 in my account.
Okay, so you're looking at $750,000 roughly.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, perfect. What do you think your credit scores are?
I think they're probably about 750.
Okay, what do you think your wife's credit scores are?
About the same. Hers is a little bit better than mine because, you know, she just is.
So here's a caveat too. I'm asking that question is I want to see what the wife's credit score is because there is certain circumstances where maybe she only has a 620 credit score and there's no reason to put her on the loan. I'll still keep her on title, but I'll take her off the loan because her credit scores affect our overall profile, what kind of interest rate they get. If she's not adding any net benefit, then that's an issue.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm going to ask Mr. Smith now is, what kind of debts do you have on a monthly basis? Car loans, credit cards, and student loans.
I have a new Rivian.
Perfect. Do you have a car payment on it?
Screen. Yeah, you'll love it. Yeah, I got a car payment. It's $1,000 a month.
Okay. Any credit cards or student loans?
None.
None at all. What about your wife?
That she has a Nordstrom's card,
Okay. What kind of balance do you think she has on it?
probably about the same as my Rivian.
$80,000. Just kidding. All right. So again, back to these questions. I'm trying to dig into what I'm finding out here. So what I've already triggered in my brain is he's making $100,000 a year. He's got a car loan. I don't know what the balance is yet, but that might be a question to ask, because if he only owes $20,000 on it, does it make sense to pay it off and get rid of that $1,000 payment or not? Is it worth it to keep the wife still on the loan because she's got, credit card debt? Do we want her on the loan or not? Maybe she hurts us. We have a down payment that we can play with. We know we got good credit scores. Already in my mind, she's going conventional. There's no doubt in my mind. Now, if Mr. Smith says he's got a 640 credit score, doesn't have much for a down payment, maybe we're going FHA more than likely, right?
Right.
If they have low credit scores too, and they don't have much for a down payment, are they a veteran? What areas are they looking to purchase in? Does it make sense to go USDA? On USDA loans, I ask additional questions like, how many kids do you have, right? So I'm going through these questions, and slowly but surely, I'm qualifying these people in on this box. And by the time I'm done with this call, I'm already telling them what kind of loan program they're going on. So now we're going to continue on, okay? So we already know income, we know credit, we know debt, we know down payment, we know his job history, we know the wife doesn't work, right?
That's right.
What cities are you looking to buy in, Rob?
What am I looking at buying?
What cities?
Cities? Oh, I'm looking at buying in, let's say, Seattle.
Seattle. Okay, perfect. The reason I'm asking this question is there's other programs in other areas that I might be able to put them under by paying off that car loan debt and seeing what's sort of going on. So I know they're looking to buy in Seattle. Are you looking at a house, a condo, townhome? What are you looking at?
Looking at something I can buy for $750. Probably a townhome or small house just on the outskirts of the city, something like that.
All right, great. So the reason why I'm asking this question is because if it has HOA dues, it's going to affect what they qualify overall. Because figure $350 a month in HOA dues equates to about $50,000 in purchasing power. So if I qualify you to $750,000, but I'm $350 in HOA dues, I need to say you only qualify for $700,000. These are basic qualification questions we need to go. So I got a pretty good idea where Rob's coming from, or Mr. Smith is coming from. And so
Robert Smith.
We'll
make it that way.
Perfect. So then I go through Robert Smith's information, and now I need to start getting him excited about the home buying process.
Certainly.
I already know what's going to happen here, right? We already know through this first 5 minutes that I already know what we're going to do. It's surprising to me how easily they divulge this information to me. Right? I'm not asking for their social. I'm not asking for their date of birth. I'm not asking them to fill out the loan application yet. I'm just trying to get them to feel comfortable with this conversation. And I want to be quick and easy and to the point, and not too much skimming over the top in regards to those questions. I need to dig into some of these little questions a little bit, but for the most part, just skimming over the top. So now my thing is Rob, has anyone ever talked to you about tax write-offs about owning a home?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's right. So you know how you get a W-2 at the end of the year from your employer?
Certainly. I get one every year.
Yeah, you get a thing called a 1098 from the lender. And the 1098 form says how much of mortgage interest and property taxes that you've paid into your mortgage. That's a tax write-off. You have your standard deductions, and then you can start writing off these other pieces of information. Now, in doing so, you're going to get back some of your money. You're making, $100,000 a year. You're in the 25% tax bracket. Let's give you credit for 15 cents on the dollar. So let's say you put $10,000, paid out, which is going to be way more than that. But let's say that is the case. You're going to get back $1,500 back from the IRS just because you owned a house.
What?
Right? Because now the issue is payment shock, right?
Yeah, that's it.
The payment shock's an issue because they're not anticipating what that new mortgage payment is going to be. I need to sort of now smooth out what this high payment's going to be, right?
That's right.
So then I talk about that. Then I say, if you do buy a $700,000 house, do you know your house usually appreciates about 5% per year? And you're like, no, I had no idea. Do you know in the last 80 years, Rob, out of the last 80 years, only 7 years out of those last 80 years have we went down in value?
That's incredible.
And
one of those was last year.
One was last year, and then previous to that was really the housing crisis. Before that, we've always either broken even or gone up a little bit on housing values.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. This is the biggest wealth piece of the puzzle that you could ever do. So then I start saying, okay, let's go over the numbers here. Let's see what you qualify for. So what I'll do is I take let's say it's making $10,000 or $100,000 a year. You're making $8,300 a month. Let's give you 45% debt ratio. That leaves you, let's say, $4,400 for expenses. So then you take the $1,000 off for the car loan that we just talked about. Maybe we pay that off. Maybe we don't. Leaves you with $3,400 left over. Are you okay making a $3,400 a month mortgage payment, Rob?
Oh, yeah. Easy squeezy.
No big deal. Now we say, hey, it's no big deal at $3,400. And by the way, you're getting a $300 a month tax break, or you're getting whatever it is. Does it make more sense maybe for you to pay off that car loan rather than putting 20% down? What kind of interest rate do you have on your car?
My payment is about $1,000 a month.
You don't know what the rate is?
No. What is the payment on my? What is it? I think it's about 6%.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to have that conversation, because sometimes it makes more sense to pay off credit card debt or student loans or car loans and simplify their life with that down payment money. So it's at least a conversation to have with them, right? So then the next thing that we're dealing with, at least in this current marketplace right now, we're dealing with high interest rates, right? Pre-COVID, rates were 4.25%. During COVID time, rates dropped into the high 2s.
Right.
Now we're 6.5, 7, right? They're scared. And we're dealing into the issue right now is there's multiple offers on everything. And it's a hard thing to ask for closing costs and prepaids and 2-1 buy downs like we were able to ask for 2 months ago.
Yeah.
That's gone away.
See, now you're dating this video right now.
It's okay. It's fine. They'll learn from this.
Okay, you're going to learn from that. You guys are going to learn from this.
We're going to learn from all this. This is an experience.
Listen.
So in doing so, now I need to talk to them about what do refinances look like. Because
Yes.
a lot of times these conversations I'm having right now, it's scaring them on the mortgage payment.
Yes, I can understand that.
So I'm saying, okay, I know mortgage rates are here right now. What does it look like if your payment gets to 5.5% or 4.5%? What does that look like going forward? Because I am going to be able to refinance you, and I talk a little bit about cost. So I get done with this conversation, and I said, great, you qualify. I'm going to have you apply online, but if you were to go look at a house tomorrow, Rob, I'm going to write your pre-approval letter. Yeah. Unless you're lying to me, you're good to go. In the meantime, I'm going to send you an application link. I want you to call Realtor Rob, and then I need you to get in the car with Realtor Rob. And they're like, okay, great, let's go.
I already have a home I want to see.
Perfect. Let's run the payments on the house, Rob.
Can we do that?
Absolutely. We can
Oh
run
my
right now.
gosh.
Anytime you need me, Rob, over the weekends or evenings, I want you to call me and say, Jason, I found the house. What does those payments look like? They literally take me 2 minutes to run the payments.
Wow. Yeah.
Super, super simple.
Super fast.
Right? I have everything on my phone. I can go through everything. It's a very simple process. So that is step number 1. Do the introduction with me. Have me get them pre-approved, because the worst thing that could be is you get this new client and they don't qualify for anything, and you've shown them 6 houses and you've been on the road with them 7 days in a row and they don't qualify for anything. That is a big time suck. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Try to get me involved. Try to get me excited.
Yeah, I think that's key.
Yeah.
Now we need to get back to the point where we're talking about now as an agent.
Yeah.
You had this great conversation with the buyer,
Right.
with Robert Smith. We had a great conversation, and we're talking about what we qualify. That now the buyer's coming back, and they're excited, they're pumped, they're like, I can get this home.
Yep.
Life is good. Let's make it happen. Now, as an agent, what should we know? What should we have, when we call you back? What questions should we ask you about this client?
Yeah, ask me definitely, how strong I feel about their qualifications. How good did that conversation go? I will be telling you they're going to qualify for a conventional loan, an FHA loan, a VA loan. What do I need in seller paid closing costs or prepays? Do I even need it? How much wiggle room do we have? What kind of conversation did I have with Mr. Smith in regards to how that communication was? Is he talking with another realtor? Right?
It's all important.
What are red flags I'm hearing or seeing? I need us to work as a team and know we're in it together. We're in it together to win, because the likelihood of that client leaving, if we're both on the same page, goes down dramatically.
It's almost zero.
Exactly.
Right?
So we need to be on the same page, go through all that. So yeah, so questions, what type of loan? How do I need to make that contract? How many days do I need to close? Is there anything that's concerning you right now? What do I need to help you push with?
Right.
What are all that stuff is, because you are an advocate for me. If I'm struggling into a transaction, I will CC the realtor and say, hey, Realtor Rob, I just CC'd you on the email. I need you to help me push, because sometimes I need the agent to push.
Right. Now, what do you mean by push is, hey, I need those pay stubs.
Yes.
I need the bank statements.
Yes.
I need these things.
You haven't signed your disclosures yet.
Right. Get it done.
Yes. Okay. I need to order the appraisal. Pay for the appraisal.
That's right.
Those little things are needed. So,
You know what's funny? A lot of times they'll say this. The buyers come in, and sometimes they think, I don't need to talk to a lender. I am just going to go find a house, and then we'll figure it out afterwards. This is what I tell people. I say, hey, Jason, you ever bought a car before?
yep.
What'd you do? You went to a car lot, you test drove some cars, and they said, does this look good? Do you want this car?
Yep.
You say yes, right?
Right.
Right. And I say, you know what? It doesn't work like that when you buy a house.
No.
It doesn't work like that, right?
Totally different.
You don't find the house
Yeah.
and then find your loan. You have to find the loan so you know what it's going to look like.
And it's the only way for you to be competitive is if you have a pre-approval.
That's right.
It's
It's
not
just
a
the
pre-approval.
truth.
It's just like there's nothing.
That's right.
Nothing, so.
You got to do that. You have to be strong enough to talk to your person, to talk to your buyers about why they need to talk to a respectable, reputable lender, not necessarily somebody online.
No, say it
Right?
wasn't that. Those guys could have worked at Burger King last week. Trust me, I worked at Burger King when I was in high school. Trust me, you don't want those guys hired.
Hey, you were a key employee there.
I was a key employee.
That's just a long time ago,
Key
by the way.
employee, that's
That
right.
wasn't last week.
It wasn't last week, is right. Okay, so let's stop this video right now. Let's go ahead and do our next series, and let's let these guys digest this a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Sound
Next we're going to talk about the life cycle of loan. We're going to talk about right now that we're in contract.
Yep.
What happens next? So
That's a great
appreciate you guys. Look for the next class. See you soon.
Bye bye.